Hi y'all, I'm Sonia. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing you two delicious chicken recipes that you really need to try. And I hope you really enjoy them. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. First off, today we're going to be showing you how to make this yummy, yummy fried chicken, and you will not believe what my husband marinates it in. It's something we all got to try because who doesn't love fried chicken in the middle of the summer? Then we are going to be showing you how to make something on your grill. Some chicken that is cooked with herbs. You'll have to wait to find out to see what it is. And crash hot potatoes. And we're going to show you how to make them. And they are just super yummy. You haven't tried them before. You need to give it a try. So here's my husband showing us how to get going on our chicken. We're just taking some all-purpose flour and putting it in a container. You could use even a plate, whatever you want. You just need to be able to make sure you hold the flour in and be able to drench your chicken in it. Then we're using cornstarch. Cornstarch is going to make your chicken all light and delicious. Then we're going to go ahead and put in some cayenne, pepper, and salt, and just to your liking, however much you think you want to do. But you want to make sure you put enough because that's a lot of flour, so you can actually taste the seasonings. Make sure you mix it all up so you can, when you dip your chicken in, the flavors throughout the flour. Then you're going to take some buttermilk and pour it into the next container. And here is the special thing. We are taking the juice, or the pickled juice. So you want to buy like zesty pickles or dill pickles. My husband prefers the zesty kind. And take them and get a big jar, and so you can pour out just the juice part and marinate your chicken in it. We use chicken breast. We actually marinated it in for about 48 hours. And you're going to pour that in and add it with your buttermilk, so it gives it just a little bit more zest. Then he's taking our chicken breasts and we are going to be putting them into our flour mixture. And then he's going to dip it into our buttermilk that we added a little bit of our pickle juice. And pickle juice is going to give it the most unbelievable flavor. I know if you haven't tried it, you need to give this a try. It kind of tastes like, I don't know, just something different. It's really good. And he is going to double bread it. So he's going to put it he put it into the flour, then he put it into the buttermilk mixture, put it back into the flour, just so it's a little bit more. If you don't want it that thick of a breading, you don't have to. You could just do it one time, but I think it tastes good. They'll bread it, makes it extra crispy. Then we wanted to show you that you need to you need to take your oil and heat it up while you're doing this. Probably at about, depending on what it is, like a medium high, like a 7 or 8, depending on what number yours is. I wanted to show you what the chicken looks like when you take it out. I mean, ours, if we would have moved it around maybe a little bit more in the Ziploc, we have been so busy, maybe a little bit more, but it's perfect no matter what it looks like. And it is going to look unusual because it had been sitting in pickle juice, and it's going to obviously change the color of it. And so make sure that again, put your oil out ahead of time, and he's going to show you. You will know when your oil is ready by sticking in like a wooden spoon or something of the sort. So now when you see the little bubbles bubbling around it, that means your oil is hot and you're ready to fry. And you want to make sure when you're laying in your chicken that the chicken is going out. Don't do it and smack it towards you, or you will burn yourself. I know from first hand. First time I cooked chicken parmesan myself when he was at work, and we did it like in the pans, it smacked me back, and I have like little burn marks on my arm. So make sure you're putting your chicken and you're facing them out when you're placing them, and place them in. Don't just throw them in, because I know if you're like me, you might be a little scared of frying in your house. I'm a little scared, hence he's making this tonight. And we also did 2 pans, because if you're cooking for a family, if you did just 1 pan, it'd probably take you all night long to make some chicken. And then you're just going to let them cook until they're nice and golden. And again, you want to flip them away from you when you turn your chicken, not towards you. And if for some reason they're not crispy enough for you, you could always just throw it in your air fryer. Originally he was like, Maybe we'll throw them in our air fryer if it's not, you know, crispy enough. But they actually turned out perfect. And he wanted me to remind you to make sure, if you're unsure if it's cooked or not, stick in your thermometer and temp it, and it should be at 165 degrees, and you will know that your chicken is ready to eat. It's super yummy, you guys. You got to give this a try. And he actually has a little things to little grates so that they can, you know, cool off and let the oil drip down. In reality, we probably should have put some paper towels underneath or something. But again, he thought we were going to stick in our air fryer, but they turned out really good. But again, if they're not crispy enough for you, you want to go a little bit more, yeah, air fry, throw them in, or you could reheat them that way. But they really turned out really good. I was surprised of like how good it was and how good the breading was. So make sure you guys give this a try. I think you'll really love it. And I know we don't cook, you know, fried chicken year round, but once in a while it's really fun to have fried chicken as a treat. And of course, we served it with some sweet potato fries, peas, and of course, it's summer. We're gonna have iced tea, sweet iced tea. We're from Texas, so of course we're having iced tea. All right, we're getting started on our second meal, and he's filling up our big pot of water, and we're going to do that first because it's going to take a while to get it to a boil. And you want to remember that if something grows under the ground, you're going to put it in while it's still cold, but if it grows over the ground, then you're going to wait till it boils like corn. So we're going to go ahead and add our potatoes while the water is so cold, and you need to add a good amount of salt to this, probably at least 3 tablespoons, probably a little bit more than that, because that is going to give the flavor to the potatoes. And just wait for it to come to a boil. And we are going to find out what we're going to add to our chicken and to our potatoes by stepping out into our garden. We actually have been at home, so we've had plenty of time to work on our garden. It's probably the best we've ever had it. I had to show you that. Those are the little chimes that my son made for me when he was a little boy. My wind chimes, and I've kept them all these years. There's Tex. That's the way I have the gate. Not our dogs would probably eat our garden, even though we have a lot of rabbits and everything else that seems to be visiting. And since we taped this, I think our garden is like, wow, just like in the last week, really taken off because we've had so much rain here. Those are cucumbers. Isn't that cute? He made that himself out of just bamboo from a neighbor's yard that he was able to get. We are growing all kinds of stuff. I like our little markers. I had to make it just a little touch of Sonia, a little sparkles. So we're actually going to be using thyme, and my husband wanted to tell you that ours is going to flowering. We're not supposed to do that. I should have been trimming it, but I didn't. Anyways, that's it. One of the secret ingredients to great potatoes and great chicken is thyme. We're actually going to be using it in both of our dishes today. But we do have a lot of herbs in our garden this year, so of course in upcoming videos we're going to show you other things that you can do with your yummy herbs. And you do want to make sure that you bring in your herbs and give them a wash before we use them. And you could actually just pick up some fresh thyme, like I know even Trader Joe's sells it. And then when we are about to use our thyme, we want to make sure that we take each piece and take it between your 2 fingers from the top, and you just are going to pull down, and then it's going to give you your little leaves. And if you can find fresh thyme, that is the best. I mean, if you couldn't find it, I guess you could use dried, but it will taste different. And you can find it in most grocery stores nowadays, or find a neighbor that has some growing maybe. So you just want to make sure again that you pull it from the top and slide it down, because if you did it one at a time, it would take you forever to make this. So take your fingers, just pull them down, and there you go. And you could use just normal vegetable oil for both of these dishes. My husband actually makes his own infused oil that has like garlic, rosemary, all kinds of stuff. And in a future video, we're going to teach you how to do it because it is super yummy and it tastes really good, especially with fresh hot bread. So we'll have him teach us how to do that. And garlic, if you don't have garlic or you don't have infused oil, Trader Joe's carries frozen garlic, and that's what we are actually going to be using to make this recipe. They sell it in little cubes, which I like because it can stay in your freezer forever, and then you can just pop out the ones that you want to use. So we are actually going to use the time for our chicken and our potatoes, so we want to take only about half of it out and put it on our other tray, and then half of it we will leave on there. And so what we're going to do is we are going to pop out about 3 of our garlics, and there is some garlic in his oil, so he's going to take a little bit of it out and put it right there. We wanted to do this ahead of time so that garlic from Trader Joe's can start melting a little bit and he can squish it down, let it thaw, because we need all of the flavor. But he also wanted to squish up the garlic that he had slow roast in his oil. But again, you could just use some canola oil, vegetable oil, whatever you happen to have around that's not a strong flavor. So here he is, just mixing in some more canola oil into it, and then he is going to take our chicken breast that I had already trimmed up and put into smaller pieces. I actually did all the chicken in one day for both of the recipes, just trimmed it up and put them into smaller pieces that are more manageable. Just you want it to taste, put salt and pepper pretty liberally. And we didn't have white pepper, but if you happen to have white pepper, it maybe looks a little better. It doesn't taste too much different. But you want to make sure you mix it all together so the garlic and the thyme and everything else can sweep, get into the chicken. And it smells really good when he got to this part. And just mix it all around so the chicken can kind of soak up some of those flavors while you're waiting to turn on your grill. And it smelled, you guys, so good. And I don't know why I don't use herbs more in my cooking. Is they're doing it. My husband is not at home. He actually just made a fun little side salad because we had some queso fresco left. He had some greens from our last salad that he made. If you haven't seen that salad, I'll add an eye and you can go ahead and watch it. And I just want to let you know on the potatoes, you could use gold or red. These are actually red potatoes, so it's probably his preference. You'll know when it's ready, when it's fork tender, depending on how big your ones are, your potatoes, and how many you're boiling, how hot it is how long it's going to take to boil. So, but you will just know by putting in your fork and it comes out like fork tender. And then we're just going to drain our potatoes. Oh, my camera lens got a little fogged up. Sorry about that. And now we're going to get ready to cook our potatoes again, believe it or not. You'll not believe what we're going to do. He's going to take the same oil that he had infused. And this is a variation of crash hot potatoes that originated in Australia, New Zealand area. But shout out to 808, you know who you are, from the Sheraton Grand, who claims that this is their creation. But, let's say who came up with this. I don't know. I think we know who did. Shout out to 808. And so you want to, I know some people would think, why wouldn't we cut up our potatoes before we boil them? But it would actually change our potatoes. So you want to get them out, and he let them sit for just a minute, let them dry, and he kind of dried them off. And you can see they're super hot. So then you are going to cut each potato in half. And here's the crazy part. You need to take the bottom of a cup. He uses a ball jar. And you're going to squish them down again. And it crushes them. That's why they're called crash hot potatoes. So they're kind of boiled because it makes them nice and creamy on the inside. And then we're going to cook them again and add a little bit more oil and shove them back in the oven. And guess what? It's going to make them so crispy. It's like a combination of crispy and creamy Oh my God, you guys, it's so good. It's one of my favorite potatoes ever. Like ever since my husband made them the first time, whenever he's home, I'm like, please, please make the crash hot potatoes because I absolutely love it. Love it, love it. And now he's gonna add some pepper, and he also is gonna add a little bit more salt. Even though we had some salt in the water, we need to add more salt. Unfortunately, they take a lot of salt to make them taste super yummy. And now we're gonna take some more canola oil or vegetable oil. He said you could even, if you wanna go crazy, add duck fat or clarified butter to this. But okay, we have so many calories, we gotta be heart healthy a little bit. So you're gonna need a lot of oil, unfortunately. This is gonna make it like crispy. This is how it's gonna crisp in the oven. And then he's gonna take just a little bit more of the fresh thyme and put it right on top of it. And again, we're gonna use a little bit of that garlic, same flavors between the potatoes and the chicken, which is great. So then, you know, I know you would think, well, God, they taste the same. They don't. I mean, they just have, their flavors go together. You could use like rosemary or tarragon, my husband said, but no, you need to use the thyme. It tastes really good. And my husband's Italian, so he thinks that the thyme tastes better. He just used to have something similar when he was growing up, and so he thinks that's the way to go. And we are going to, after he is done placing the garlic on top, and it's going to actually, as it heats, it's going to melt, but I just want to tell you, we are going to put it in the oven for 400, because I don't want to forget, for about 10 minutes per side. I mean, if we were to, and there you go, that's my daughter's pizza, because of course, why would she eat her dad's cooking if he's a chef? No, she has to have like a frozen pizza. And I did, okay, these are me cooking my chicken on the grill. I did probably turn them a little bit too early. How do you know? They're sticking to my grill. I should have waited. You should be able to just release them, like when you pull up your protein and just come straight off. Mine, oh, got a little stuck. That was my fault. And I was hungry. When am I not hungry making dinner? I always wait too late. And again, you could test your chicken to see if it was cooked. I probably should have brought my thermometer and showed you. Be ready at 165, but instead, of course, you should never do this. Take my paring knife on the glass plate. But it looked done. I was like, it's done. And I've cooked so much chicken in my life, I knew it was done. So at that point, we just took the chicken off and we are getting going. I had to show you guys this. If you're like me, you've been stuck at home, you have a million dishes, and everybody's like, well, I didn't know to empty it, or I didn't know it was dirty. Got this off Amazon. It is fantastic. Okay, the potatoes are coming out, and I just want to let you know that about halfway through, like around 10 minutes, and ours got a little bit longer because my daughter's pizza was in there. And if you wanted to, you could probably go up, I think, to about 450. My husband usually does about 400 at work, but he was like, maybe I would have gone up just a tad more. When he flips them, he actually goes up to about 450 because you want it to be crispy on the outside. We bought these at the last minute because I forgot to pick up potatoes at the store. So I think if I had the choice, we would have picked up smaller potatoes, and this wouldn't happen. That when he flips them, they would have flipped in one piece instead of kind of coming apart. My bad. I forgot. I have not been the best at like making really good grocery lists and getting everything that I need in one go, even though I'm trying to actually be more organized. I don't go to the store more. I don't know. I'm getting it better. And plus I get so flustered in there, I think, with my mask and it's crowded. I don't know. But they didn't stay together as much, but most of the time they do. I think because we usually use a little bit of smaller potatoes, but they still more delicious. And again, you guys really need to try it. These are like the best potatoes ever. It's like whenever he's home, it's one of my biggest suggestions. Please, can you make that for me? And actually, I'm glad we made this video because, to be honest, I actually never knew how he made it It's usually he cooks when I'm busy with the kids and doing other things. So now we have the video so that all of us can know how to make it in case when he's not home, he's at work. But they turned out super great this night. Even my teenage daughter, who wanted pizza instead of eating this meal tonight, loves these potatoes. She actually eats them with ketchup, because why not? It tastes like a little bit like fries, I guess. I don't know. They are crunchy on the outside, like I said, and creamy in the middle. And they are so good. You guys really need to try them. And a shout out to my husband's hotel family that is getting these videos now. But you guys are only getting some of them, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of them. And if any of you want to share one of your recipes and appear on our YouTube channel, you know who you are. Cook, professional chef, you want to be on my channel, let us know, and I will make sure that we get together and you can do your video for us. And here is what it looks like when it's all done. The potatoes, the chicken, and we had like a side salad. It tasted so good. Well, I hope that you enjoyed learning how to make 2 new delicious chicken recipes that I hope you try coming up this summer. One on the grill, and who doesn't love a good fried chicken with some iced tea to take to your next picnic or get together, or just as we are, just hanging out in our backyard because we're still basically staying at home. So there it is, fried chicken and our roasted chicken. Well, you guys take care, and thanks for watching. We'll see you later.